Hi, beautiful people. How are ya? I'm Dr. Pammy Jean. I hope you're having a great day. Cadence is feeling much better now. She's back to work and going to church. Singing on the worship team was really important to her, so she's back to doing that too. She does have a lingering cough, which I figure will probably last her about a month. That's typical for bronchitis and I guess pneumonia. Not sure. Never had that. I mean, my husband and I didn't get it from her, so thank the Lord for that one. It's been a while since I've done my nails. I gave them a break, but with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, I had to do them again. This time, however, because of my vision, oh my goodness, I did something probably a little ridiculous, but I have these readers. I think they're a 2.5. Yeah, but I still couldn't see my nail bed to put the nails on. And so I added, these are like 3.25. I put these on, I broke the side off at this one. So they wouldn't stay up like this. So I put them on, put these on first and these readers over it with this light that I have over here to the side. And I was able to see well enough and go by feeling and get my uh, the nails on. This time, instead of using nail glue, which I knew that would be a horrific mess trying to do that. So I bought nails that you just stick on. And, when those first came out, they were terrible. They didn't stay on at all. But apparently, they stay on a lot better than they used to. So I'm giving them a shot to see, because that way I don't have to deal with any nail glue. And these are pretty short. I love that. Can't do anything with long nails. And I love the color. There you go. And it won't be long that we'll be decorating for Christmas. That's going to be fun coming up. But today, we're going to talk about another root cause of fibromyalgia. Various abnormalities indicate that multiple factors and mechanisms are involved in the pathogenesis of fibro. Now, pathogenesis just means the process that a disease goes through to become a disease and, just how it actually develops. So, there are so many different ways that fibro can develop. And yet, the etiology of fibro or the cause isn't known, or at least researchers and medical professionals aren't in agreement on what the root cause is of fibromyalgia. So, until that happens, a major development or whatnot, they're probably never going to agree. But we pray and we persevere and we keep putting out the information because we are hopeful, are we not? But these are what is believed to be the causes of fibromyalgia. Again, there are many that have been discovered by science. Abnormal pain processing, dorsal root ganglia, neuronal hyperexcitability, oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, inflammation, neuroinflammation, and neurogenic inflammation, autonomic dysfunction, small fiber neuropathy, and stressful life events. Today is episode 5. We're going to discuss mitochondrial dysfunction. Here we go. Mitochondria are essential organelles performing many functions in addition to their role as energy-generating powerhouses. There is evidence, as mentioned briefly in the discussion on oxidative stress, that mitochondria dysfunction is found in fibromyalgia. Researchers of a 2024 study stated, quote, mitochondrial dysfunction has been shown in the pathogenesis of fibromyalgia, how the disease develops. Fibromyalgia is a chronic pain syndrome characterized by neuroinflammation and impaired oxidative balance in the central nervous system, depending on how you want to define it. Patients may experience a loss of muscle strength caused by nociceptors, which is when pain is generally caused by something harmful, like stubbing your toe, or actual physical damage, like from small fiber neuropathy in fibro patients. Quote, pain is consistently felt in deep tissues, including ligaments, joints, and muscles. Increasing evidence points towards these tissues as relevant contributors of nociceptive input that might either initiate or maintain central sensitization, or both, unquote. That was in 2006. Today, many researchers state that we have nociplastic pain. Quote, nociplastic pain is a mechanistic term used to describe pain that arises or is sustained by altered nociception, despite the absence of tissue damage, unquote. But there is tissue damage in some people who have small fiber neuropathy with their fibro, or those who also have RA or osteoarthritis, or lupus, or some other autoimmune or inflammatory disease. So those are what they call overlapping conditions that are often associated with fibro, not a cause of or caused by. However, in fibro itself, researchers cannot detect damage. I want to know why there are so many of us who have one of these overlapping inflammatory or autoimmune conditions. And when you have one autoimmune condition, the likelihood of getting another autoimmune condition is 25% more likely. So not everyone, but certainly too many. Nociplastic pain probably occurs on a continuum and can coexist with nociceptive and or neuropathic pain. Remember that mice study from 2021 that showed that fibro is a disease of the immune system rather than one that originates in the brain? IgG antibodies were found in fibromyalgia. And in 2023, researchers stated that, quote, fibromyalgia might be an autoimmune condition with pathogenic mechanisms mediated by a peripheral pain-inducing action of immunoglobulin G, or IgG, antibodies binding to satellite glia cells in the dorsal root ganglia, unquote. Now we're getting somewhere. There are key points about a mitochondrial dysfunction in fibro that plays a role in mitochondrial biogenesis in our muscles. Mitochondrial biogenesis refers to a reduced production of new mitochondria. Well, we can't have that. Mitochondrial biogenesis is defined as the growth and division of pre-existing mitochondria so that we have enough mitochondria population to meet cell energy demands. So healthy cells generate new mitochondria when we need more energy. Unhealthy cells do not. So these are those key points about mitochondrial dysfunction in fibro. Researchers found that fibro had impaired mitochondrial biogenesis in muscles. This means that decreased levels of proteins involved in mitochondrial production lead to a reduced capacity to generate new mitochondria in muscle tissue of fibro patients. That's huge. Number two, increased oxidative stress in muscles has been found in fibro patients. Impaired mitochondrial function can result in increased production of reactive oxygen species, or ROS, leading to oxidative stress, which damages muscle tissue and contributes to pain. We just learned about oxidative stress in a couple of videos ago in this series on the root causes of fibro. I'll put the first one here. Number 3, there is altered mitochondrial dynamics whereby patients have issues with mitochondrial fusion, meaning the merging of two mitochondria into a larger mitochondria, and fission, which is the division of a large mitochondria into two separate organelles. These are processes that regulate the size and shape of mitochondria and are essential to the health and growth of mitochondria. When the processes are negatively affected, this leads to dysfunctional mitochondrial morphology. And number 4, numerous scholars have postulated there is a decrease of mitofusin 2, a protein found in the outer membrane of mitochondria. This may be due to a deficiency in coenzyme Q10, which will further exacerbate mitochondrial dysfunction in fibromyalgia. So it sounds like these researchers believe that fibro is caused by changes in mitochondria in our muscles. Our muscle pain and fatigue may be due to this dysfunction and then lead to muscle weakness and pain. This dysfunction in the peripheral tissues may contribute to central sensitization. See how all of this is connected? Amazing. Lastly, I want to cover things that we don't normally think about because they're a part of our everyday life, and that is chemicals. Now, this was pretty difficult research to find because chemical companies do not want research completed on their product that could potentially end in negative remarks. But a 2022 review on current studies, researchers stated, quote, classes of environmental toxicants such as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, air pollutants, heavy metals, endocrine disrupting compounds, pesticides, and nanomaterials can damage the mitochondria in varied ways, with changes in the mtDNA, copy number, and measures of oxidative damage. These are the most measured in human population. Other significant biomarkers include changes in mitochondrial membrane potential, calcium levels, and ATP levels, unquote. In this same study, researchers stated mitochondrial dysfunction in human populations exposed to metals, endocrine disrupting chemicals, pesticides, and nanoparticles showed a gap in knowledge that needs attention. So we definitely need more studies on this topic. But just imagine muscle cells contain around 7,000 copies of mtDNA per cell, which is higher compared to that of cells with lower metabolic capacity. When environmental stressors occur, significant changes in mtDNA may indicate a biological response to excess ROS production and mtDNA damage and dysfunction. Remember, ROS stands for reactive oxygen species that are produced by the mitochondria. They are byproducts of mitochondria dysfunction and promote disease progression. However, what is known is that mitochondria are highly sensitive to environmental toxicants. When we encounter chemicals, the damage can decrease ATP levels. We've learned in prior lectures that low ATP will give us low energy levels. ATP is extremely important to contract muscles as well. This deficit might explain why we tend to be so stiff. It's probably one of my greatest issues these days. So we've learned a great deal today about how important our mitochondria is to functioning adequately. I hope this made sense to you. I send you gentle hugs and support. Love you. These are the causes that are believed to be, these are the causes. Researchers found that fibro had impaired researchers found that fibro had impaired This means that decreased levels of proteins involved in mitochondria in muscle tissue. Oh my gosh, scared me. I'm taping a video.